Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Friday edition of Moohead Radio. I'm your host, a big and furry bovine. Joining me on the panel are Bronk and Hammer Time, and anyone else who wants to show up. There may be some people reacting to what I have to say. Probably not. There's a lot going on in the world of sports. In the wide world of sports, there's Mike Tyson, and we'll
Mike
talk about
Tyson.
that in a little bit.
Over there.
For
Put
a
that
little
knife
bit.
down, OJ.
But the main thing I want to get off.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there goes the internet.
Wow. How come
He
we're,
is kidding.
I swear to God, I give up on Spectrum.
how come
They
we're
suck.
talking?
I have been working all day on this, and I have no idea what the problem is.
And right now, you're like,
And they're of no help whatsoever. So if my image breaks down like it just did, and
We'll just
see,
pick up
and
a ball and run
some of
with
the guests are cutting in and out, and there it goes again.
Max Headroom.
You
Wow.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, how come we're still here? That's because I've got my super fast British, like 1 gigabyte fucking nano speed internet over here.
I'm pretty good shape there too.
So there we go. What do you want to talk about? I mean, because we probably got like 5 people watching us,
and they're turning off as quickly as possible. So no, there is a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously, I don't want to steal his thunder. We can go. Actually, there's a lot of big games this weekend. Football wise, you got Kansas City and Buffalo, which is going to just be.
Oh, so being a referee, how do you feel about all these accusations of the Chiefs being helped by the referees? Do you think it's going to happen again?
We did talk about that on Monday's show about how Patrick Mahomes said, "Hey, can you tell us when he's getting close? Tell him when he's getting close to me." Which I know it was a total joke, but all the conspiracy theorists out there immediately are like, "We know for a fact that this son of a gun, we know that's good. What's going on with that?" So for sure, we know that happened. But yeah,
Wow.
it's just I don't. It's so I'm an NCAA official for volleyball.
Yeah.
And we actually had to take a course, like an online thing, to make ourselves eligible for
to do a compliance course.
Course. And actually what it was about was about gambling. And that we're expected to not gamble on any sport in which the NCAA has a counterpart in it. So everything. Well, it's not cricket. I think
it's not cricket.
I'm good.
I can give you cricket tips.
I can go straight cricket. Rugby, I think I'm good there. I don't know that they have an NCAA. They probably do.
They do. I think they probably do, but it depends on which type of rugby. There's like 2 different types of rugby.
Like
there.
the seven.
The rugby union, rugby league, and rugby sevens, and
so that's that because I watched that during the Olympics. Oh, so exciting. It really was great. So that was another one. And I was thinking, I'm trying to come up with some. Oh, Aussie Rules Football.
Aussie Rules Football, that should be good.
We're good at that. Although they're on break now because they just finished their season.
How about hurling or Gaelic football?
I'm sure I'm good there. Yeah. So, but pretty much anything else, including taking part in pools for like March Madness. Taking part in any kind of a football pool for like a number pool, like the Super Bowl.
Oh, right.
Stuff like that, or any fantasy sports that have an actual payout. So if it's just for bragging rights, like our league was here in the past, our Pick'em League.
Which I won one year, by the way, people, if you don't remember. Brunkstradamus.
Speaking of bragging rights, but yeah. But
a few years ago now. It was a virtual trophy, goddammit. Some people have real trophies. I have virtual trophies.
Exactly. So, but you know what? You can take that with you no matter where you go. So
correct. It's always with me.
Just put it on a flash drive and you're good to go. So, but yeah, it's so even things like that. Anybody that's an official, at least under our part that works under NCAA rules, has to take this course. And so we're all expected to complete this thing and not participate in any of those things, which actually is good because I could, you know what I could? Boxing and UFC. I'm good there. Yeah. I could bet on that. So, so there is something that is definitely on the thing. Kind of cool stuff happening, obviously with the Cavs going 13-0, fantastic. Correct. Nice win. Although one of the stories today or yesterday was talking about how they beat all these teams. There's of the 28 or something, 29, whatever.
30 teams in the league.
Of all these all-stars, there's like half of them are out. There's like half the league's all-stars are missing.
They're all dead already. Everybody's dead.
Yeah, they just started, and it's really sad that they're just, they're all out. So that was something that they talked a little bit about. Actually, it was on one of the Yahoo things that came through, and then they were also talking about what a great job that they've done there. And this was on one of the morning shows. I don't know. Whatever it was, I can only stand so much of it because the voices start to get to me. But they were also talking, but they were also talking about what a great job that the coach has done in turning this thing around and doing a good job. So it's definitely I mean, 13-0, you're catching the eye of people. They did say that everybody that's started 13-0 has made the playoffs. But only one team has won the championship.
Yeah, I saw that. I think it was Houston Rockets 30 years ago.
It is the Houston Rockets. So we're due. We're due. So there you go. So I thought that was a pretty interesting thing that they brought up on that. So Cavs play tonight, right?
Yep, they do. They play Chicago in Cleveland. Now, the people that are in America probably aren't aware of this, but on the online bookies here in England, if you put a bet on NBA basketball, you can watch the live stream. So you don't have to go on these like dodgy, virus laden 55 ads with 25 tits popping up at you sites to watch these games. So I was looking at it, and they're asking like the Cavs to give up something like 10.5, 11 points. I'm thinking, Jesus, fuck. I mean, the Bulls played them pretty well the other day. What was it, Tuesday? Or I don't know. It wasn't all that long ago. And that Geddes guy kicked our ass, was shooting them in from all over the place. And they want, that seems like an awful lot. And then the other night, I was watching the game, and particularly the bit where Donovan drove the lane with 3 minutes to go. Looked like he had an easy dunk, and then he must have saw Mobley in the corner thinking like, well, I could get my extra assist for my 10, and threw the ball away. But, people, he was critical of himself, and people have been critical of Donovan. But why didn't Mobley, stay there until the whole play was over with, too? He was, getting a head start running down the floor for defense, which you can understand because it did look like he was going to stuff it.
Yeah,
the play wasn't over either.
Yeah, that was brought up. So I see actually on the chat, I see Rick, May, and Christopher Milton. So good to see you guys. I just happened to pull it up on my phone, and Moo is having technical difficulties. We're waiting for him to rejoin. So
yeah, he might kick us off.
It'll be fine. We're just carrying the ball until he shows up, if he ever does. I don't know. Otherwise, I don't know. There he is.
Here he is.
I can't guarantee this is going to last for more than 3 minutes. This is so fucked up.
We've been chatting away here. We've already discussed Donovan Mitchell throwing the ball away, trying to get his 10th assist. And
well, thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah. And,
I appreciate it.
And we actually talked a little bit about, and I did some little talking about the officials and NCAA rules that officials
and the compliance,
have to do compliance. In order to work the tournament levels, you have to take a course. It's not real long. It's 25 minutes or so, but it's basically goes over any type of gambling. So any sport that the NCAA has a sport in there, you're not, if you're an official for the NCAA, you're not allowed to gamble on it. So I got big money on the cricket match this weekend.
Oh, England and West Indies have been playing.
I don't understand what the big deal of a bunch of insects crawling on a field. I don't understand them.
Well, I bet you never went to flea circuses either. Now, come on.
No, that's very true.
Or Piccadilly Circus for that.
Or I never went to see Buddy Holly and the Crickets. Never.
Yeah. Or the
Beatles. Okay. So
you're back.
Okay,
He's back. Guess who's back?
Yes.
Head's back.
Right. So here we go. There is a reason for this program, and
really,
and I will tell people to fast forward on the replay of this.
No, it's the Hammer and Moose bit's the best bit.
So here's the conclusion I've come to.
Okay, all right.
I have done a podcast for 22 years, and I'll continue to do a podcast, and I will talk about Northeast Ohio sports. But I am no longer a Browns fan. All right. I want to make it very clear to everybody who's viewing that what I will be saying will be what I think, and I'll watch the games. I'll do the halftime shows. I'll do the post-game shows, but I am no longer a fan of the Cleveland Browns, and I won't ever be again. All right. Okay. And here's why.
Why?
I'm sitting at home and I'm going through my YouTube stuff, and it's like there's a game that flashes up from 2009.
Wow.
And it was a Browns against the Lions. All right. And both teams were 1-8, for God's sakes. And Brady Quinn was the starting quarterback.
Who were the announcers for that one?
Yeah, who knows? I mean,
Battle of Lake Erie.
Two knuckleheads are on a podcast.
Jamal Lewis was the running back. I mean,
that was good. Yeah.
Mohamed Massaquoi was the wide receiver.
Oh, God.
Oh, number 11.
And on and on and on it goes. So at any rate, like a fool, I started watching it. And we'll bring John Grassoff in. Hi, John.
Hey, John.
So I'm watching this thing, and the Browns get off to a 24-7 lead, and Brady Quinn is en fuego, okay?
No way. I'll never remember that.
He threw for over 300 yards in the game.
Really? Fucking hell. I didn't know that.
They're playing the one-win Lions. Keep that in mind. So
okay. Yeah, well, the one-win Lions.
One-win
the thing that made it really intriguing to me was that on the screen I saw two images. I saw Eric Mangini, and I wanted to vomit.
Right.
And on the other, who was the head coach of the Detroit Lions, who were 1-8?
Was it Wayne Funts?
It would be Jim Schwartz.
All Jim Schwartz.
Right.
Oh,
so I mean,
wow.
this is becoming like deja vu, and it's like not a pleasant deja vu. All right. So I'm watching this thing and watch the Lions slowly but surely get back into the game, and then I watched the end of the game, and I remembered the game. All right.
So you took the red teat rather than the blue teat, is what you're saying here.
Well, Yeah. I saw what was going to happen, but I wanted to see it again because I remembered it in a certain way. So to make a long story short, the Lions get the ball back because Brady Quinn has a 3rd and 5. He throws the ball to Mohamed Massaquoi, and he throws it 5 yards away from him for God knows what reason. The Browns have to punt the ball. The Lions get the ball, and then there's a little caption on the screen. This quarterback, and it was the Detroit quarterback, has never led a game-winning drive in his career.
Never won a game.
Who is the quarterback?
Oh, God.
Oh.
God, no.
Rodney Peete?
No,
that's not a big guess, but no.
Plenty of them. I mean, because you had what's his name that went to Cincinnati for a while, but he had plenty of them.
Oh, but you're gonna know. You're gonna know this guy, Matthew Stafford. Okay,
Matthew Stafford, 2010.
He had never
around that
2009. He had never had a game-winning drive in his life. So he moves the ball down the field slowly but surely.
He was 12 at the time.
And he throws the ball, and everything's complete, and everything goes down the field. The Browns, and they're taking their time, and they're spiking the ball and just moving the ball at will. And finally, it comes down to 8 seconds left in the game, and they're down to the 32-yard line or 40-yard line or whatever the fuck they're down to. Down to one play, and Stafford goes, back to pass. He's looking. He runs left. Nobody to throw to. He goes right, and he's buying himself time. The Browns are trying to chase him around, and he just heaves it up in the air into the end zone, and it's incomplete.
Right.
Until the flag is thrown.
The flag.
That's interference.
There's a flag on the play, and some guy who I'd never fucking heard of committed something like this egregious.
Infinitesimal penalty, yes.
Yeah, and they call that interference. And the Lions get the ball on the 1 yard line. But the end of the play, the Browns got to Stafford, hit him after he passed it. All right. Lions got no timeouts now. All right. They got no timeouts. And down goes Stafford. Down goes Stafford. He's down, rolling around like
Pentecostal.
That's right. And and
Shakers
and it's his left shoulder.
He's dead.
And his arms dangling when he gets up. And Jim Schwartz calls a timeout. He don't have a timeout. All right.
Oh.
So give him an injury timeout.
There we go.
But alas, it's not enough. It's not enough because he comes off the field and the backup quarterback comes in. Now, that would be Dante Culpepper. So Dante Culpepper comes into the game, and they come to the line of scrimmage. He didn't have a chance to warm up because he didn't know this was going to happen. He wasn't prescient. And so he has to make the play. But no, Eric Mangina calls a timeout. He calls a timeout so the Browns can figure out how they're going to lose. And Matthew Stafford comes back in the game.
Now, yes.
With his left shoulder dangling and with his right arm, throws a touchdown, 1 yard touchdown pass, ball game, and it's over.
Wow.
So I said to myself, you're reliving the same nightmare year after year after year, and I've really just had enough of this bullshit. So I decided to look this up. So here's what you're going to hear right now are the 2009 Cleveland Browns stats. So the basic stats, all right? They were number 29 and number 32 in offense, but to put it, yards gained, they were last of the league, all right?
Yep.
Their rank in defense was 31, second to last. All right? And their coach was Eric Mangini, and God, they sucked. I mean, and it was not a good year. All right. No. However, they did end up 1-11, and then winning
their last games.
Their last 5 games.
Five games.
No, 4 games. You're right.
4 games. I think it was 4 games.
Yep.
I remember this
ruined
well
the draft position, ruined the future, and fucked everything up so that they could feel good about Eric Mangini going into what I'm going to share with you now, which would be the 2010 Cleveland Browns stats. Head coach, Eric Mangini. Yep.
I do remember that.
I remember that well because we were arguing on the program the fact that, we got to get rid of Mangini. And then somebody was going, oh, no, we've won 4 in a row. We got to keep it.
Now, their league rank in offense, 31 out of 32 again.
Woo!
But their defense got better and was only 22nd out of 32. All right. And they proceed to go 5-11. And if you're wondering who was quarterbacking this monstrosity, it wasn't Brady Quinn anymore. It was Colt McCoy and Jake Delhomme. Okay. So now we'll move on to the next year. 2011 Cleveland Browns stats. All right. Now we're at 2011, and it's like, the team is wised up. We got our new coach, Pat Shurmur, the kumquat. Right? All right. So You take a look at this new system that he brings in. Their league rank in the offense was 30th out of 32.
Woo!
But the defense, which had nothing to do with Pat Shurmur, because he was brought in as an offensive specialist, was 10th out of 32. All right?
Wow.
They actually were 3-3 at one point in the season and then proceeded to go 4-12. All right?
Yeah.
So their quarterback was Colt McCoy and Seneca Wallace.
Seneca Wallace, yeah.
Now we go to the 2012 Cleveland Browns stats. And I'm doing this for a reason, folks. So I can explain why I'm no longer a Cleveland Browns fan and never will be. Okay, here we go. Who's the coach? Well, of course, Pat Shurmur's back. So now the points against their 19th defense and their points for is 24th out of 32. And what in the hell difference does it make? At the end of the season, they're 5-11, and it makes no difference whatsoever. And their quarterback this time is Brandon Weeden. This is what you call a quarterback carousel, all right?
Yeah.
Brandon, the man, I'm lost under a flag.
So that was 2012, right?
Yep. And now we're up to 2013.
I'm already 26 years old as a rookie quarterback.
2012.
29 years old as a rookie quarterback.
To let you very quickly and point out that 2012 was the year that Dee and Jimmy bought the team. So that was their first year.
All right. So here we go. No, it was 2014 was his first
2012.
year. All right. I'll take your word for it.
I am.
All right. So here we go. Are you reading that or are you guessing that?
On Haslam's.
There's only an answer, yes or no.
Yes, I'm reading it.
Okay. I don't want somebody Tony the Caffing me.
No, you're not Tony the Caffing.
So in 2013, points for 27th out of 32 and points against 23rd out of 32. And their expected win was 5.5 wins. And you know how it goes. They were 4-12. So they didn't even reach their expectation. All right. And if you're wondering who the quarterback was, well, of course, it was Jason Campbell.
Jason Campbell.
And Brandon Weeden, who went 0-5. And so that was the end of that. So 2014 is over and done with. And if you're wondering who the players were, for God's sakes, that's when Josh Gordon, appeared on the scene like we really needed him. And remember Greg Little? Do you remember Chris Agmanaya? Do you remember Willis McGahee? Do you remember any of these motherfuckers? How about Trent Richardson? How about Travis Benjamin? How about
ordinary?
My favorite was the guy that took a Trent Richardson jersey and then marked off different letters, so it just said "hard on." It was beautiful.
Gary Barnidge, the tight end. So I'm just reminding you of who this.
That was the good old days, man. That's when we could win one game a month.
So at this point, Jimmy's like, "Woo! I got to do something. I got to get me a new head coach." So he gets Mike Pettin.
Pettin.
Now that year they made a major jump because their points offense was 27th out of 32. I mean, this is just fucking unbelievable. How many years can this go on? And their points against their defense was 9th of 32. But the fact that Pettin was new, Pettin actually had the team at 6-3.
In first place in October. I remember posting it on Facebook.
And they went 1-6 for the rest of the year so they could end up browsing again.
7-9. Yeah.
Who is the quarterback? Brian Hoyer. Why, of course, the Brian Hoyer, backed up by the Connor Shaw with a Johnny Manziel there in the rear view. Then we go to 2015, and Jimmy's going, "Woo! I can't wait for the 2015. We got 7 whole wins last year."
Yeah, Super Bowl.
Mike Pettin returns as the head coach and delivers a 3-13 season. And if you're looking at the team stats, their offense was 30th and their defense was 29th. They were, again, the worst football team in the NFL, as they always will be.
How can they not rehire a guy like that?
Who is their quarterback? Josh McCown.
Who actually
age
wasn't
36.
He wasn't that bad. He wasn't that bad. That's
compared to all these other schmucks you already talked about.
And then Johnny Manziel was still there. All right. All right. So that's that. So now we go to the 2016 season. And the 2016 season is like, woo, I got to do something here. I got to make things better. I'm hiring Hugh Jackson. 1-15. 31st out of 32 teams on offense, 30th out of 32 on defense.
It can't get worse than 1-15, can it?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
It cannot get worse.
And who is the quarterback? Well, of course, Cody Kessler, the underarm slow guy.
From USC, drafted in the 3rd round, I believe.
And then we go to 2017, and he's back. Oh, Hugh Jackson's back. 0-16.
Then we have a parade.
32nd out of 32nd in defense, 31st out of 32nd in offense, and unbelievable first how many years? 5 years for Jimmy Haslam. And who is the quarterback? Deshaun Kaiser.
Yeah.
All right.
I can't believe they actually got a draft pick out of that.
Now,
that was amazing. Green Bay loved him.
2018, Hugh Jackson, they bring him back again, and he goes 2-5, and then Greg Williams goes 5-3. The reason some fans like Greg Williams, even though he's mentally unstable and he's a total schmuck, the reason they liked him is because as a head coach, he went 5-3. And the points for the offense, well, they were 20th of 32, and the defense was 21st of 32. So it's not that Greg Williams did a good job, mind you. They just liked the fact that they won some games.
Yeah. He had as many wins as they had the prior 3 years.
Yeah, and who's the quarterback? Well, Baker Mayfield. And this is why the fans like Baker Mayfield, because they actually believe he's good. All right. But the fact of the matter is, he did have a prolific year in which he was 6-7. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
And that he threw 17 interceptions, but he threw 27 touchdowns, and people said, woohoo. Amen. And we know what happened to Baker Mayfield as well. Yes. And so what I want to say to the fans, you can be a fan all you want to be a fan. I'm done.
Preach.
And the reason I'm done is this is not going to be fixed in 2 or 3 years, because it's never been fixed. It has never been fixed. It never will be fixed. Yeah. And the one constant is that asshole guy from Tennessee who has dragged the Milwaukee Bucks down, and he will drag everything down. And the Browns were bad to begin with before he even got there.
Yeah.
It's never going to be turned around. And the reason that Browns will be Browns is it's true. It is true. We don't like what fans say around the league, what people hammer us all the time on social media. We don't like it, but it's true. The Browns suck now, and they will always suck. And it can't be any other way, because all these years I've read off to you, and I'm reading off the years that the viewers would have been there for, because I'm old and I go further back than that, of course. But I'm just reading your lifetime of the Cleveland Browns. If you want to believe that it's, that it's going to turn around, then God bless you. But I'm done. So what it amounts to is, I don't care who wins this Sunday, and it won't be the Browns, because they're not going to win on the road, even against the Saints. It doesn't matter who they're playing. They're not going to win. And the reason they're not going to win is because, just like every other season, the wheels have fallen off. So you have guys saying they're making business decisions, so they're not going to play. And we're going to bring Christopher Milton in. Hi, Christopher. How you doing?
Hey, Moo, how you doing?
Good. So here's the deal. We bring in this coach, that coach, another coach. We get this quarterback, that quarterback, another quarterback, and it makes no difference. And finally, when the team becomes halfway decent, Jimmy jumps in and he pulls a Manziel and he gets Deshaun Watson and destroys the whole thing. The team, now players are making personal business decisions not to play. And then the head coach comes out, Stefanski, and says, well, it was a bad choice of words. No, he's a lazy motherfucker. The guy was a lazy motherfucker from the minute we drafted him. He sucks. He doesn't work hard, and he didn't want to come back from his injury because he didn't rehab properly. Fuck him. People who were twice as crippled, 10 times more crippled than him, came back and played. If Conklin could play, he could play.
How many snaps did Joe Thomas play in a row?
Oh, my God. Jedrick Wills. I mean, so now what you have is every man for himself. And
they're looking for contracts. Let's see, especially people are potential free agents. That's what
I get rid of all of them.
Yeah, no, but I mean, that's what they're going to do.
Get rid of every single one of them. Yeah. Every player, I would just give them to the league because the fans of other teams who are trying to win are deserving of some of these players.
Yeah. No,
Cleveland is not deserving. Jimmy Haslam's not deserving. And the fans who continue to support it, you don't deserve it either. You just deserve more fucking misery. That's what you want. That's what you're going to get.
Is there a dispersal draft?
Now, I have never felt this way about any other Cleveland franchise. Now, the Indians back in the day were bad when I was a young man.
They were awful.
The 70s and 80s, it was as bad as it got. But, when Dick Jacobs bought the team, he proved that with proper ownership and a desire to win and making a good decision on what stadium, how it looked, where he put it, and spending money on payroll, getting good young players, developing young players, getting guys like Omar Vizquel from Seattle, or bringing up Jim Thome or Joey Bell, as he was known back then. Yeah, it was, really a good run for the team. And with Francona's, managerial skills, the team has remained competitive. And then this past season, the team was, more than competitive.
Overachieved again.
So I have nothing to complain about. And I have nothing to complain about Cavaliers. I've told you that Dan Gilbert's the greatest owner who's ever been in Cleveland, whether you like him or not. The fact is, they win and they put a product worth watching. And if it isn't worth watching, the young players, when we got them, like the Kyrie Irvings and guys like that, were definitely worth watching. So I have nothing bad to say about the Cavaliers. It's the Browns. It's just the Browns, and it will always be the Browns. And I'm sick of reading what I read. I'm sick of Twitter. I am removing myself from Twitter with the exception of putting up when the show will be on so that people who want to watch can watch. But I'm done on there because it's mean-spirited, it's negative, and I can't control who's on my timeline. And there are a bunch of, from the left, from the right, from every direction, kooks who are putting shit up, and I am so fucking sick of it. I just want to look up sports stuff, and I can't do it on my own timeline.
Hey,
so,
Mo,
yeah.
I have a little perspective for you.
Okay.
And you may not agree.
Okay.
So, Twitter is now X, right?
That's what they want to be called, yes.
Right. He changed it to X. But what my perspective is, because I'm a little younger than you, is the country is the same as it's always been for my whole entire lifetime. So, I don't get mad at these people over there, but guess what? They just have no clue what's coming. So that's fine. But, I just wanted to check in with you because I'm feeling a little better now.
Good.
But I'm gonna tell you what's really wrong in private. But, right now I feel a little better. So I just thought I'd pop in and say hello.
Well, yeah, I hope you are feeling better because, that I wanted you to stay on the air here and I wanted you continue visiting the program, and that's always the case. I want to explain to people, it isn't that I'm running from this crowd or that crowd. I just can't spend the time weeding things out on Twitter. It used to be much easier to do, and now things just pop up at will, and I can't really, it takes too much time, and it's really trying to figure out where the fan stands so I can take a perspective. And I'm saying, screw that. I'm just going to tell people what I think, and they can think what they think, and I don't have to read the nonsense. And let me explain to you part of the nonsense, that even if I find a sports oriented thing on my timeline, David Aldridge, you probably know him. He's from The Athletic. He's a guy who writes about sports.
He used to be on ESPN.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, ESPN guy, yeah, I think.
Yeah. Here's the headline. Undefeated Cavaliers aim to find out if a team of nice guys can win an NBA title.
Oh, make it stop.
You know, so the Browns have a rapist, and we're going to crucify them for that. And the Cavaliers are nice guys, and we're going to crucify them for that.
They're calling us nice.
Cleveland against the world. That's what it is, man.
Yeah.
They're calling
nice
the Cavs nice.
Well,
nice as a negative.
Soft.
Soft.
Soft, Christopher.
Well,
that's what the implication is. You know.
They're calling us pussies.
And
well, Bronk, you know about that.
So. Yeah, I do.
You know, when I see that being written, I know what the lean's going to be no matter what. But I figure I've bought in to Cleveland sports my whole life. And I've seen the Browns when they were good. I've seen the Browns when they were terrible, but they'd come back. And as bad as Art Modell ended up being, doing what he did, the one thing is the Browns, they would be good for a while, then they'd be, there would be like
a boom and bust cycle. Like
there'd be like Mike Phipps, and then there'd be Brian Sipe. And then after Brian Sipe,
Paul McDonald.
Paul McDonald.
Yeah.
And then Bernie Kosar. Yeah. So, I mean, there would be at least something to look forward to because there was a way of rebuilding the team. This owner will never rebuild the team. He doesn't know how. He doesn't know what he's doing. And he hires people around him who are yes men. And the whole thing stinks. It stinks to hell. And I don't want to have anything to do with it. I'm going to sit and quietly watch the games. I'm not going to be on social media. I'm not going to be commenting. I'll do my halftime show, my post-game show, and I'll be done with it. It doesn't matter. You know, every group of people who are predicting the Browns and Saints game, they're picking the Browns. Do you know why?
Why?
Because somebody has to win.
Yeah.
No, because they're going to lose.
They got uniforms and
when they lose, then they can write, now this is the worst team in football. I already know that. It's the worst organization in football.
Just
it
wait
is historically, since 2000, the worst.
Wait till they become the Cleveland Prime Times next year.
Oh, we got the Thursday night game with the Steelers.
When we get the prime times when we get the new coach and the new quarterback. Come on.
Oh, the prime time. Oh, yes. I saw that. Prime time.
Yeah, that's the big rumor going on now.
Coach Prime.
Yeah, that in order to draft Shadir, you're going to have to bring in Coach Prime.
And look,
we couldn't do much worse. We've already had Jackson.
We deserve this.
And we were supposed to have a shot.
He's up
at the Super Bowl.
And you believe that?
Well, that's what they were touting the Browns with the best. Well, the best talent.
Who was touting it? Who was touting that?
The media.
Bookies.
The media. The Browns got a great roster. I don't know. They went from that to what they are.
It was just a way to steal your money at the bookies. That's what it was.
Well, I mean, what
They're going to be great. They're going to be fantastic.
No. So let me tell you, if they even try to get that quarterback, they're going to be set back 5 years, just like Johnny.
Oh, we know.
And
they're already set back 5 years, and there is no comeback. Jimmy Haslam has never turned the team around since he's owned it.
No, because he set them back when he took Johnny. That was 5 years. Now you have a defense that could play with anyone, but you don't have anybody that can score.
Right.
So if you take this guy, I mean,
Another
I've seen him play.
Yeah.
I've seen him play, but I don't think Dion will let him come here, which that would be great. That would be great.
He's not coming to Cleveland. That is the story that he is.
That's why he's saying what he's saying.
Yeah.
He ain't going to end up in a shithole like Cleveland.
Yeah. Don't bother drafting.
We're not going to do it. We're not going to be good again until this owner sells the team. That's it.
And you can't make him do it. So he's of more value to the league being the little girl in curls who gets fucked in the ass over and over again. This is what the Browns are. They're the whipping boy of the league and always will be. There has to be one, and the Browns make the decisions consistently to guarantee that they will always be the whipping boy.
I was just wondering what time slot that little girl thing was on.
So
just for educational purposes.
Okay, but listen, let me ask you, Moo. So Green Bay are owned by their fans, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. What would it cost for Cleveland fans to be like Green Bay fans and own their team?
The NFL put in a rule that says that no one else can do that. So Green Bay is allowed to continue to do that, but they put in a rule that says they can't do it. And right now, it's kind of surprising because the next step is going to be allowing these
hedge funds,
these investment groups to go in and do it. Because right now the NFL says you have to have an owner. But that's happening in international soccer.
Absolutely, happens here all the time.
Yeah, these investment groups are going out there. It's happening in all these other sports, and that's what's going to be next. It won't be owners. It's going to be these,
guys in gray suits with Tom Brady with a minority share of it.
Yeah.
So
it's horrible.
I'm just trying to explain to people who are. And I don't know how you could possibly think that in 2 or 3 years this could be rebuilt when the man has owned the team for 12 fucking years and has never been able to do it in 12 fucking years. And he's put out the worst product that we have ever seen in our lives.
Historically,
this is the worst I have ever seen of any organization in the history of my lifetime. I can't think of anything this pathetic. I just won't support it anymore. I'll watch it. I'll talk about it. I'm not here to make money.
It's like our support group for it.
But to get upset about the loss, I said, just impassively. Watch the Cavaliers games, man. I'm whooping and hollering, man.
We are, man. We are.
And it's like, you take it strong to the rim, Evan. Come on. It's like, and Donovan Mitchell closing out games, Ty Jerome, slow balling people to death, and somehow getting in passing lanes, stealing the ball, making big clutch passes and shots. It's the bench, the players, and everybody on the same page. A head coach who knows what the hell he's doing and isn't destroying the bodies of his players to accomplish it. He's delegating. And the best thing I heard from Kenny Atkinson was that he's a very different coach than he was when he was in Brooklyn, because that was his first go around, and he had witnessed from the sidelines being in Golden State and being an assistant, but he wanted to be the man in Washington, and in the Nets.
Brooklyn, yeah.
And there was no winning in that situation. His star player was Karis LeVert at the time. They had nothing. They had stripped things to the bolts, and in 2 years he was gone. And what he learned is gotta delegate. Something Kevin Stefanski wouldn't know if it bit him in the ass. Delegation. You hire people who have specializations and you listen to what they're saying, and you all bask in the glory of victory, not just one person.
Oh, the amazing thing is the inbound plays that we're doing. We're actually scoring off of inbound plays. I mean, what a revelation that is, man.
Yeah. And, believe it or not.
One more.
Sure.
Okay. You think Dan would be interested in buying the Browns? Does he have enough money?
I don't know. And how in the hell are you going to take that away from Jimmy Haslam unless you have pictures on him with children? Honest to God, how are you going to take that team away from that man? The league has to have a criminal reason. Nope. That team is worth. He bought it for $1 billion. It's worth $5.5 now.
Yeah, it's worth a lot now.
This guy is the only thing that you could do to get rid of him would be to either figure out what he's done that was so heinous, or that somebody would have to come out and make a Jimmy Haslam deal to buy the team, and that's not going to happen. It's just he's lodged in there and he's settling in, and he's at war with the city now over Brook Park, and he's bad news. He's bad news for everybody. He's an agitator. He's a troublemaker. He's a bad decision maker. And he's a selfish prick who knows nothing about business whatsoever.
How is he not in politics? Never.
Well, I'm not going to say nothing. I ain't going to get involved in that.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
I'm talking about Jimmy Haslam. So, if you just tuned in, I'm not, so.
There's a good story in Cleveland this weekend.
What's that?
What, Jake Paul?
No, we hope to see that. That's another story. But
he's gonna get killed.
the baddest firefighter on the planet, Stipe Miocic, is fighting another rapist, John Jones, for the UFC heavyweight championship on Saturday night. So he's a big underdog, just because he's 40 now or 39 or whatever, but
he's old.
But he's just such I know, no shit. Oh my God, the man's he might as well. Yeah, he's almost dead. But
he's like walking around with a cane,
but he's a great story. He's exactly that guy you were talking about. No one has anything bad to say anything about him other than the fact he isn't a good promoter of his own fights, because he doesn't talk smack. He just goes out there and does his stuff. And then when he leaves, he goes back and does his firefighting gig and whatever. I mean, he's married. He's got kids. He's not out fooling around.
He's a normal geezer.
He's just a regular guy. And it's just such a great story of him. And he's won the most championships. He's fought the most times for the title. And this fight is about 4 years too late. It should have happened about 3-4 years ago. But
boxing has been dead for years.
Well, this is UFC.
There's nobody there.
Yeah, but
I don't even pay attention to boxing.
Well, and when you get into boxing, you're talking about this whole Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. The biggest gates are these stupid crossover, bring an old guy out of retirement.
But it's an exhibition.
Exactly. But the biggest fights are these stupid things. The real boxing, just like you said, is dead.
Let me tell you this. So when I was in my 20s, I had my son in my arms, right? Mike Tyson pulls up and he goes into the East Side Market. I get out and I tell my son, this is the champ. What do you think Mike Tyson said to me?
Get out of the way.
You guys, nope. You guys with these babies be tripping. He was an asshole then, and he's still an asshole.
Oh God, yeah.
So,
I mean,
I looked at him. I was like, "Really, dude?
yeah.
That's what you had to say." So,
well,
I was done with him way back then.
The last thing I'll say about the Browns, they're going to lose, and the reason they're going to lose, they got more film on Jameis Winston in New Orleans than they have prostitutes in the French Quarter. So, honestly, no chance the Browns have. None.
Evelyn's kid is going, "You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose."
Now, there is something I did want to talk about regarding Mike Tyson and Jake Paul.
Okay.
And
other than how much we all want Jake Paul to get knocked out, but that's not going to happen either.
Of course, it's not going to happen. And the reason is it's Jake Paul's company. Second of all, the only future asset in Jake Paul's company is Jake Paul. And Mike Tyson will never fight again. I will tell you something about Mike Tyson because I know people in the sport. If you look at when he lost to Kevin McBride back in 2005, which was his last time legitimately in the ring. Yeah. And he was so fucked up. His back was so fucked up. He couldn't even fight. And he has degenerative spinal condition.
Oh, wow.
And the reason that they're showing all of these him throwing his hands real fast is that he can't twist his body and torque power into a punch. Because if he did, he would fall on his hands and knees crying, "Mommy." All right. There are pictures of him recently. When I say recently, 2 years ago, using a walking stick and a wheelchair because he has such severe sciatica problems.
Oh, God, yeah.
There is no chance that Mike Tyson would win the fight. There's no economic reason for him to win the fight. The betting money, they're playing on sentimentality that people want the old guy to win, maybe. It's all about wagering. It's all about, the silly slap that happened at the weigh-in is amateurish WWE stuff. It's all been done before. He knew he was going to get slapped. This whole thing, Mike Tyson has no other way to make money. So this is what he's going to do. He has quit in the ring before. He will quit in the ring again. The fact that they couldn't even bring this to a pay-per-view, so it's going to be on Netflix, and anybody who subscribes to Netflix can watch the goddamn thing, will tell you that there really is no viability to this except to heighten awareness of Jake Paul because it's his company. And this is what he's doing. It is a scam. And it is, but it's a dangerous scam.
He's less than half his age. He's 27, and he actually has some boxing skill. Now, if we had Tyson at 27, Paul at 27, that's a little different story. Okay, I think Tyson.
I'd pay money to watch that.
That would, Well, Paul wouldn't fight Tyson at that age.
Does this mean Tyson is broke and he just has to do something?
He said to make.
Why else would he do it?
He said to make $20 million.
Well, you just said that he's not going to make a lot of money, right?
I would do it. He's going to make $20 million.
No, he's making money from this. He's not making money any other way. This is the only way he can make money.
Jake Paul set to make 40. Tyson set to make 20. I would do a lot of things for $20 million.
Tyson, he's mentally ill. Right? He has emotional problems, had his whole life. Mike Tyson can be erratic in his temperament, to say the least. And he's not the kind of person who can, it's not like you're going to see him like Snoop Dogg pimping products on television or whatever. Nobody wants to be associated with somebody who's got emotional distress like this. And, you just watch the Kevin McBride fight.
This is Mike Tyson for the Mike Tyson knife set.
He was throwing arm punches against McBride, and he couldn't torque his back. And it's fucking 20 years later.
Well, supposedly he had surgery a couple years ago.
But Moo, let me tell you, didn't Don King rob Muhammad Ali too?
Oh, he robbed
just like
everybody.
he did. No wait, just like he did Tyson.
Here's the story.
He did everybody else. So
when Muhammad Ali, but let me tell you a story, Christopher, so you know. When Muhammad Ali fought his last fight against Trevor Berbick, his last fight was not against Larry Holmes, it was against Trevor Berbick, and it was in the Bahamas. And it was 6-4 in favor of Berbick, and it was a terribly dull fight. And Ali did everything he could with Parkinson's syndrome to stay in the fight. Don King went over by boat because he claimed Ali owed him money. And at this point, he was no longer the promoter for Muhammad Ali because there was nothing left, no meat on the bone left because Ali was sick. So he goes to the island to put the hustle on Ali, and Ali's bodyguards beat the shit out of Don King.
Good.
And I mean, they busted him open. I mean, the picture that I saw, and the people who said, you got to see this, man, because boxing people get off on shit like that. I mean, Don King is vermin, and that he was trying to collect money out of Muhammad Ali after stealing his money. He stole money from Larry Holmes, who was good with it while the going was good. But Larry Holmes is a creep too, and nobody wants to have anything to do with Larry Holmes either. He's an embittered guy. But he stole from every fighter who ever fought for him. Don King was just a guy who stomped a man to death in the street and spent time in jail for killing somebody. This is not a good person. But now it's a different era. Instead of having that kind of guy, we get Jake the Fake Paul. And we get this whole, it's all part of this social media thing, this revolution of titillation that the country, for some reason, has fallen into. There is nothing entertaining watching a 58-year-old man with a bad back, emotional problems, who's on medication for the rest of his life, to go into a ring and to have to prostitute himself when he's not physically capable of doing something anymore. And, you know, am I going to watch it? Yeah, so I can just sit there and go, you see?
Yeah, I'm not watching it.
It's on like 4 in the morning.
My wife is subscribed to Netflix. I would not subscribe to Netflix to watch this. Believe me.
We're all in on this. Yeah, let's go.
I can't watch it.
So it's going to be on after the Cavs game tonight.
So wait. When Ali, who did he lose to?
Lost to
no. I'm saying it was
lost to.
No, I mean that one fight where he couldn't even
Larry
defend
Holmes.
himself.
Larry Holmes.
Oh man, I hated that fight.
So did Larry Holmes. As bad of a person as Larry Holmes is, he cried after that fight because who wants to beat up a man?
Muhammad Ali, yeah.
Who
but guess what?
Disabled.
Tyson came back and beat up Larry Holmes for that.
Well, they all fight too long, Christopher. We know that.
Yeah,
it's
I know more.
Look at Butterbean, for God's sake.
I don't even watch boxing anymore because there's nobody out there. There's nobody that.
When it comes down to Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua and people like this, you got nobody.
Usyk and
if Usyk, who's not even who had to gain 20 pounds to be a legitimate heavyweight, he at least has technique.
He's a cruiserweight, isn't he?
Yeah, well, naturally, and he put on weight and he was able to beat Tyson Fury because Tyson Fury is just this big octopus who holds and grabs. I mean, it's pathetic. Yeah. Boxing has become a pathetic thing.
Go Cavs.
So, and the Cavs played tonight at home against the Bulls. Now, we played the Bulls and beat them at home.
Yeah.
What do you? Oh my God!
It's the tournament. It's the tournament.
The Browns are a 1 point.
1 point favorite.
Oh my God. The over-under, though, the over-under is 40.5 now. It's come down from 44.5 because I was going to be all in on that, except I can't bet on that. But I would have been all in. But I would have been all in on that because the Browns aren't scoring 21 points, so we know it's like that's not going to happen.
They get 10 points. That's a miracle, man.
Now for the Cavaliers,
they're a 10.5 point favorite tonight.
That's crazy.
But Mobley is a game time decision. We don't know.
Sick, isn't he?
There's a flu that's been going around hammering the hell out of the Cavalier players, which is one of the reasons why they're struggling. It's just the will of good coaching decision, using as many guys as they can. So Mobley's a game time decision, and somebody else was a game time. I think
Jared Allen's probably got.
Jared Allen's a game time decision as well.
For the last couple,
he hasn't looked right at all. I mean, so if we got no big man
tonight is the play-in tournament, right?
Yeah,
it's
I don't
for Emirates or whatever they call it.
I don't even know what it means.
I don't know.
Well, it means
you
nothing.
You get a trophy in the middle of the season.
Vienna!
They're trying to get like international soccer, and
I'll give it a chance. You know, I mean, whatever.
Sam Merrill hurt his ankle, so he's going to be out for a little while.
What it does is it gets you excited for teams that have no chance at the extended season.
Correct.
Stuff. Yeah, they can get on a little hot streak and get a little hardware, you know, and then they can sell some more T-shirts and hats. There you go.
It's great, and those unis are cool though. The CLE unis and all that crap.
Actually, the Lakers won it last year. It didn't matter.
No, nothing matters. But you remembered though. You remembered they won.
See, there you go,
Christopher. Good point.
So, what do you hang a banner for that?
Yeah, you would.
Because the United Arab Emirates paid money to, that don't matter.
You're going to see so many people booing this fight tonight when Tyson just doesn't come out of his corner.
Oh.
When
Is it tonight?
Yeah.
There's three prelims.
About 11 o'clock, Christopher. 11 o'clock is the walk. Around 11 o'clock.
The whole thing starts at 8. There's 3 prelims before.
4 in the morning. Thank you, God.
If you want Bronk tomorrow, give me a call.
I actually.
I was gonna say I can replay it. We can do like a Zoom or something like
that. Like a 1 minute play. Yeah. Yeah. No, the big fight's Katie Taylor, man. She is, and that
I wanted to see Katy Perry in there.
Katy Perry fighting Katie Taylor. Now that would be a good fight.
Yeah. So there is one thing I want to explain before I get out of here.
Get out of here.
And the reason that I do the podcast is I love broadcasting and I love Northeast Ohio sports.
I love Cleveland.
But there comes a point where seriously, there comes a point where
you're moving to Sirius XM.
No,
I'm sorry. No. Surely you can't be serious. All right.
There comes a point where you just can't sit there and just be cheering on something like it's just it's just ugly, and this whole thing, and now it's the dome, and I just don't support this guy, and the team has fallen apart. They are not on the same page. I want the players who have worked hard for the years they've been there to either retire if they're badly injured, or to go on to a better place to go.
Go to a better place, like heaven,
it's where they have a chance to win. And I have no qualms if Jimmy wants to keep losing as long as he wants to lose. That's fine by me. But
checks keep coming in, baby.
Enough. Oh, and one thing,
the checks keep coming in. You know,
so
it's an abusive relationship. It is clearly an abusive relationship that we're all stuck in, and we stay here, and we think it's going to get better, and it never does. It is like the classic thing.
Yeah.
And don't leave, Moo. I got something to tell you about the weather here.
Yeah.
It is cold and drizzly.
I heard that it rained real hard up in Akron.
It's been raining for 3 days, Moo. It's been raining for 3 days. So you're in a better place.
Yeah. One thing before I get out of here, and I wanted to, I turned my little effect thing up here. Wait a second.
Oh, you got God coming on.
No.
Luckiest man.
Yeah. Lou Gehrig. No, here's, so I'm going through YouTube and I watched that horrible 2009 Browns game. I'll end this show with the way I kind of began it. And then there was something else that came up, another old football game. And this is what I heard. It was the Browns against the Steelers, and it went something like this.
I don't understand what's going on out here. I don't understand. This is Myron Cope. And you know something? The Steelers should be ahead by about 37 points. I don't understand why it's not happening. And who the fuck is Brian Sipe anyway? And I'm fucking dead and I still sound like this. The bottom line is that people scurry away because they're convinced that they've gone to hell when they hear me talking.
That is what Howard Stern has now gone to. The knock at the door and dead people show up. So there you go.
My God. I mean, no, I will never. I will admit that the Steelers are a much better organization than the Browns, but you will never hear me say, I hope they win, because I hope they lose. And you'll never hear me say, oh, Lamar Jackson's a great quarterback, until he wins something significant.
Yeah.
That's all I'm waiting for.
I got a very, very, very quick request. Can you do Tommy Heinsohn saying Ty Jerome?
Oh, okay. Now that would be relatively easy. Let's get
back to Tommy Heinsohn.
Tommy Heinsohn down here. Do you know something? I'm looking at throwback players, guys who I would have loved back when I was doing the Celtics games and when I was doing the Celtics cheerleaders. But that's another story for another time. What I want to tell you is this. I could hear myself saying, pulls up from 22, Ty Jerome. There you go.
Thank you.
I thought when you said you were going to end this the way you started it, it was going to be frozen on the screen.
Yeah.
Max Headroom. Max Moohead.
I'm having all kinds of internet trouble here, and I don't know what it is. They will claim Spectrum's like, oh, your modem looks fine to me. And it's like, so does my scrotum. Put your head down there. I mean, it's like... Sorry about that, Christopher.
He just cleared out his lungs.
Oh my God.
At any rate, yeah, they say it's not my modem. They say it's not the service. Then, but
it's the
what is
state.
It then?
It's the deep state.
They tried to blame my mesh network.
I was going to say
heroes that I have in here.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but it's all updated, upgraded. Everything is up to date. There's, it just blinks off for no reason. And the modem remains on. It's not resetting. All three lights on the modem are absolutely there, but there ain't no signal.
Wow.
But it has nothing to do with Spectrum, mind you.
Oh, I think it has something to do with the hurricanes you probably had. But anyway.
You know what I think? I think I need to call Spectrum. All right. And
oh, you can do it on the air.
Is this Spectrum? Hi, this is Myron Cope.
One of my top 10 Moohead moments was when you rang up the Minnesota Vikings ticket office to try to get Tony the Calf. And you got that woman there, and she was so nice on the phone.
Oh, so pleasant.
That was like the nicest woman I've ever heard in my life on the phone there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we used to call people live on the air and just do all kinds of ridiculous things. And maybe I'll go back to doing that. You know what I should do?
Bring back the Boo phone.
I'm going to try to do something live. I got to figure out the banana phone. Remember the banana phone?
Oh, yeah.
Ring, 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 banana phone. Yep. So I might try to get through to Jimmy Haslam.
I think you can do it.
Oh, that would be good.
You know,
that would be real good.
what I
Look,
have to do is convince him
Bruce
that I'm somebody who can give him a 35% return.
On its equity.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
but you should do DePodesta first. If you can get to him.
Well, he's an analytics guy, so he would understand what this means. There's two.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely.
Wow.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning into this edition of Moohead Radio. Thank you, Christopher. I hope you're feeling better, and drop me a line and let me know what's going on, please. And you know, Bronk and Hammer,
And
thanks for holding up your end
And if
while
you're
I was having
late for the
technical
show, go
difficulties.
back and watch the Hammer and Bronk show early on.
No, I'm going to edit
Absolutely.
that. I'm going to edit.
Oh.
I'm going to.
Oh, you can't. That's the best part of the whole program.
No, what I'll do is I'll just put up a
It
link
was pretty
saying,
good.
if you want to see the real
Please
beginning of the
ignore the
show,
first 10 minutes of the show.
advance. No, I'll just put a little link so people will know that if they, you know, they want to go to the
Hey, we
crux
got,
of
we
the
got
show.
mentioned on the chat here, so I'm saying, you know, there we go.
Yeah, you can't cut us, man. We're like
And Richard, you're absolutely right. Songs from
There you go.
1973 to 1978. That's the rules. Popular
Oh, you have
top
no
40
chance.
top 40
No one.
songs. You stump the cow. You come up with the name of the song. The cow will get the artist. All right. And this we did a number of times many years ago.
We did not that long ago,
a few
even.
And I still remember the ones that stumped me.
yeah.
So you can throw them, you can go back and look at the archives and throw them at me again, and I will know them this time.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
popcorn by Hot Butter, huh?
All right. Thanks, everybody, and we will see you at halftime of
Go Cavs.
the whatchamacallits game. And yes, Cavs at 7:30.
Cavs.
And before I go, I just want to say this. Mike Tyson, I just want to say this because I have a big problem because I have to stand here and let this pussy of a white guy kick the shit out of me for money. And, you know, I have to try to say, I have pride in myself, but the more I talk like this, the more I sound like Elba Fudd.
But
But you see, the bottom line is, you know, if I lose this fight, I'm going to end up in Bolivian.
Bolivian,
And-
yes.
All right, enough of that.
I
I hope nobody gets hurt.
Yeah.
That's all. At this point, all I care
Oh.
about it. I don't want somebody to get hurt, except for Jake Paul. I would love for him to get hurt, but no. Financially, I don't want anybody to get hurt
No.
physically in something like this. It's So thanks everybody, and we'll see you at halftime. Until then, hasta la vista, pass your heads. Good night.
Oh.